Awareness Month, and living here in Las Vegas, we are out in the sun, gosh, almost every day. Dr. Robert Lepozovic is a board-certified dermatologist practicing not only in Santa Barbara, California, but here in Las Vegas as well, and he joins us live in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is something we, I think, in Las Vegas obviously have to be aware of all year long, right? The sun's always shining, and even when it's not, it's affecting our skin. Tell me, first of all, as far as we were just saying about cancer, that it's one of the most second most common diagnosed cancer from 15 to 29-year-olds. Unbelievable.
That's true. In all cancers for men and females, melanoma is the most common, except for lung cancer in females, actually a little more common. But it's increasing rapidly over the last 3 decades.
Okay, so before we even get into how to protect yourself, how do we notice that we have it? What do we need to be doing constantly to go, oh, this is a weird spot?
Yeah, so you want to look for anything that's new and changing. They have the A, B, C, D, E criteria. So A stands for asymmetry. So you want to make sure that if you draw a line through the spot, one half should look like the other half. B is you want a uniform border. You don't want any jagged edges. C would be color. You like to have a uniform color throughout the mole. D is diameter. You'd like to have anything that's 6 millimeters or less in size, about a pencil eraser. And E is anything that's evolving or changing. So any of those criteria or suspicions should be evaluated by a dermatologist.
Interesting. And so when you see someone, you kind of give them the whole look around, and you'll be able to tell too the difference before you say, okay, we need to test this.
It's difficult even for us sometimes to make the call, so we do a biopsy in case where we're uncertain.
What about, I heard that for people that live here, that kind of your left side is really prone to more sun because of driving, because if you're the driver, the left is always, you know, facing out the window. That's true?
That's true. That's true. We see it all the time. The glass blocks UVB, which causes skin cancer, but not all of UVA. In California, you cannot write any prescription for window tinting, because they ask me that all the time. I'm not sure about Nevada, but it would be helpful if you could actually tint your window to block the UVA, but that does also cause some skin cancer, especially for people who don't even keep the window up.
What about as far as SPF and things like that? What do we need to be looking for? I mean, I know, like, I have some 15 in my moisturizer, and people are like, no, you need to up that to 30. I mean, should we be wearing 50 or more? Yeah,
that's probably the most common question everyone asks. 15 would be all that you really need. But the problem is people don't put enough on to get to that number on the bottle. And sunscreen is kind of exponential, so that if you're putting on 50 and you're only putting on half of what you should put on, which most people do, you're only getting about a quarter of that number. So 50 now becomes a 12 or 13. So the higher you start, the more air room you have. But if you put it on properly, put about 2 tablespoons to cover the whole body, you would only need about a 15.
I mean, I do feel like people are more aware lately of this. Do you feel like, you know, the awareness is
definitely,
taking shape?
especially children. They're really good about putting their own sunscreen on and being aware of that.
Yeah, people are getting more of the spray tans, less of the tanning booth, and out by that. I mean, and then is it true that you should really worry mostly about your face, or is there a difference, or it should be full body?
Well, if your face is exposed, obviously, then you're going to be covering that up. So if you're at the beach with your bathing suit, you're going to put your sunscreen on your whole body, but just exposed areas otherwise.
Is it the #1 thing that you get visits about, or just kind of mixed in
My
there?
demographic, I do mainly skin cancer, so I have the older population. So yeah, mainly things of that nature, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Good information. Thanks for visiting us.
Thank you.
All right. Stay with us. We're back after this.